Joining us now live in studio, Tiffany Adu, former Tulane player, now does basketball games for ESPN+, and Loyola women's head coach Kelly Kennedy from my alma mater, a little fist bump right there. Let's start it off by asking you all just a general question. Tiffany, we'll start with you, then Coach will go to you. Your thoughts on what was a pretty dominating championship game performance for LSU?
You know, it was truly impressive to see how many players stepped up for this game. You know, last time we talked about LSU going into the tournament, they had to have multiple players scoring. Every single player stepped up. You had Angel Reese, Alexis Morris, and you had Poole on the bench in foul trouble. And what they did is they showed up. They had so many points coming off the bench. And I think that's a true testament to the coaching and the ability to show up in the tournament and play.
Coach, your thoughts?
It was just a great game. I mean, what a great season for LSU and what a great finale. I mean, again, if you could have told anybody said that 2 years later they would be winning a national championship, I don't think anybody would have believed them. But the game itself was just so fun. Just such great characters on both teams and such great players on both teams. And LSU did what they always do and what they've done all year long was play defense and rebound the ball. But the little X factor was the three ball yesterday for them. And that really made such a difference. I mean, when you shoot 65% from the three-point line, not a lot of people are going to beat you at that stage.
All right, now let's talk about the amount of people that tuned into this game. 9.9 million, record-breaking game. Sales were crazy. Tickets were more expensive to the women's game than the men's game. What do you think this does for women's basketball collegiately as a whole? And we talk about how it was even more viewed than the WNBA games. I mean, how is this sport growing in front of our eyes?
You know, I just think about the Trailblazers that set the tone for yesterday to happen. I think about, you know, Simone Augustus, she was at the game. I think about Sylvia Fowles. I think about all the coaches that came through that program. And what they've done is they've really created an atmosphere that is allowing them to tell stories, allow for personalities to show up, and truly just give the fans who are just now seeing women's basketball for the first time an introduction to something that's truly priceless. It's existed for a long time. It's going to continue to grow. You heard the little girl earlier saying that she wants to win a national championship, and that's the type of energy that's going to come into this game just because of what we've experienced this year.
Yeah, Coach, you spent a lifetime in this game in about 30 seconds. From player to assistant coach, Division I, head coach now, just the growth you've seen and where it could still go.
Well, as a kid growing up, the social media, the watching games on TV, it just wasn't there. You didn't have all the access to everything that you do now. And when I was just young in coaching, you'd go to the Final Four, and most of the people at smaller venues of probably like 8,000 people would be coaches at the convention, the WBCA convention, and now that has just changed so much. Most of the people there now are fans, and there's a small fraction that are the coaches at the convention, but it's just amazing to see how far it's come.
All right, Coach, more with Tiffany coming up in just a minute.
All right, joined once again by Tiffany Adu. Tiffany, let's start off with first, can LSU maintain this success? You just heard Sharif, the #1 recruiting class in the nation for next year. How good can we expect them to be, and can they repeat?
I think what's so important that we talk about is that the basketball season starts again now. They just won the national championship. They're returning to class. And what we don't see is they have multiple seasons. And the one season that we don't talk about is summer season. Summer season, you're coming in and you're playing pickup, you're developing individually, you're doing all types of things in the classroom, so you're really becoming acclimated to the culture and the environment that you're going to enter. And once it comes full throttle when the fall rolls around, I think this team, especially thinking about Angel Reese, you got Flau'jae, who's got a lot of experience under her belt, played an incredible season. All of these players are really going to contribute to how they mold these incoming freshmen, which are the top recruiting class in the country. So essentially, it's going to be a really incredible time for LSU to really come out of their bubble and say, like, hey, you know, we just put ourselves on the big stage, won a national championship in 2 years with Kim Mulkey. I think we can do it again, and I think there's a lot of pressure, but I think that they really like that.
You know, you mentioned Flau'jae Johnson and Angel Reese. You talked about how it takes a little time to acclimate to college, to a new life. There was 9 new pieces on this team. Now that they're going to have a whole year under this belt, how much can they grow some of these playmakers that you've already seen take the court and make major contributions to this team?
There's always room for growth. So that's the place that you should start. There's always room for growth, and I think that's the best place to come from. You have players who have the utmost experience. Angel Reese, who transferred #1 number one player in the transfer portal, and then you also have the transfer portal and people coming through there. I think what Kim Mulkey has done with this team, and what I think the players have currently done with this team, is they've done a really incredible job of building culture, of really understanding what it takes, having a staff that really is training and working with these players every single day. And so that in its own right is going to allow for there to be evolution with this LSU team.
Quickly, we've seen some juggernauts in women's college basketball. You have UConn, you had South Carolina. Do you think LSU is maybe that next one, or are we starting to veer away from that complete program dominance?
I think it really just depends year to year. You just never know how many players are in the transfer portal. Just a week ago, I was checking out or talking about the transfer portal. I think they had 632 players in there. You also have incoming freshmen. You have players who are growing and getting better every day. I think about Jasmine Carson, who just showed up and showed out. So you never know what's going to happen every season. And so LSU could be the dominant team. It could be, you had Iowa playing in their first game. You had, Ole Miss, all these different teams showing up for the first time. So I'm excited. I think women's basketball is going to be something that's unexpected, or you can expect the unexpected, and I think that's what's really exciting.
Yes, thank you, Tiffany. The future is bright at LSU for sure.
All right, Elizabeth, great report. Thank you very much. Rejoin now Kelly Kennedy, head coach at Loyola University. Your thoughts on Kim Mulkey? Your Loyola team played them the second game of the year this year.
Last year,
sorry. Just building that program is somebody who's been in coaching for a very long time. Just what she's been able to do in your profession.
You know, coaching at any level, and I'm sure in any sport, is a very hard job. It is a very hard job, and people just don't understand it unless you're in the middle of it somehow, some way. The fact that she was able to win a national title in her second year, I mean, she was just in the express lane, for sure. Now, we did play them. We were her second game, actually, in the PMAC Center when she took the job at LSU. And I can remember her walking over to me and saying, obviously cordial, and we were speaking and talking a little bit, and she said, people just think I'm crazy to come and try to do this after everything I built at Baylor and just leaving there and just going out and trying something completely different and trying to do the same thing all over again. And a lot of people did. And the fact that she was able to do that in 2 years is just unbelievable. Now, transfer portal and the NIL all played a significant impact in all that, as it does. But, all coaches have access to that transfer portal, and everybody has to do the same thing. You have to recruit the players, and then you have to build the culture, and then you have to convince them to work really, really hard every day of the year. And you want them to be playing their best basketball at the end, right? And so that's what she was able to do with LSU this year. Just the fact that they really came into their own and played, I felt like, the best basketball of their season in that NCAA tournament was just amazing.
And just final quick follow-up here. She's flamboyant. She's over the top. I don't know if you coach in outfits like that. We got about 15 seconds here. Do you like that, or as a coach, do you say not my style?
Not my style. I can't imagine myself in those outfits that she's wearing, but you know what? To each their own. It works for her, and if I'm her, I'm going to keep doing it.
All right, more with Coach Kennedy coming up in just a minute. Kendall. Friday. Joining us again is ESPN analyst Tiffany Adu and Loyola head coach Kelly Kennedy. Coach, I'll start with you this time. Do you game plan that? Do you draw up screens to get open shots? Or is it just, hey, Carson's hot, feed her the ball?
Well, once you have a player that has a hot hand, yeah, give her the ball. Let her do it again until she just kept making them. So as long as she's making them, I'm having my team give her the ball again and again.
Tiffany?
I'll just start with this team came out with a mission. They finished the season how they started. The first 5 games that they played to start the season, they scored 100+ points. They finished the season scoring 100+ points. And I think that they were just all ready to show up and play. They had five players in double-figure scoring, and they needed that to beat Iowa.
You talk about it, they needed this scoring. Do you think a game plan going in was we have to score more than Caitlin Clark? I mean, she's such a prolific scorer. Do you feel like that was in the game plan? We need to shoot more as a team, take more threes? Or is it one of those things where, yeah, they just started shooting well, so they just kept throwing it up there?
LSU has a pretty aggressive defense, so I want to give them credit for how they show up defensively. Caitlin Clark was exhausted. You're playing game after game after game in the tournament. You're just trying to survive in advance. And so when you think about LSU, they had a strategy where they were rotating players on and off of Caitlin Clark, and it was difficult for her to score, and it was difficult for her to get the pick and rolls that she would oftentimes get or come off screens and pop the shot behind the arc. And you had Sanano, who also had foul trouble, so they weren't getting that tandem that they would always get in the game. So I think LSU played incredible defense.
If I could follow up with Coach, one, I think you were a guard, so quick question
Yes.
here. Did you ever hit 5 threes and a half? And then two, as a coach, just what Kendall alluded to, if you're hot, you just go with it, even if it's not part of the game plan. How many times do you change the game plan mid-game if you see something's hot and working?
If you're losing or you don't feel like you're performing well, yeah, you can change it and change it quick and do something completely different. I don't think that LSU really got outside of who they are. As a coach, you know, you develop certain things and you kind of live by those. You develop a personality as a team, and that's what you do, and that's how you're successful as seasons progress. Now, if you got a player that's really fine in the bottom of the net, yeah, you do continue to call her name. And I do think that with her making those shots early, she was just able to give them a level of confidence that they didn't have yet.
All right, Coach, Tiffany, thank you very much. Great insight.